Hello, how are you all today? Hello, beautiful people. Uh, let's all be grateful for this wonderful day, and I cannot thank enough for the beautiful day that I'm blessed with today as well. And let's all start our day with a grateful heart and thank God for whatever He had done for us. And let us continue to pray for one another in this situation. We are one among the blessed one, and there are millions of people who need our prayer. So let's all be humble enough to remember them in our prayer and try to encourage and support in whatever thing we can, in whatever ways we can. So here, and once again, thank you so much for accompanying me in this journey, and I wish you all be blessed with good health and long life, and praying for you all to stay healthy, you and your family, that God see that this family, it's a blessed one, it's a righteous one, and let He save your family as well, like Noah's family. So let me continue with yesterday's reading. Okay, so I'm supposed to be reading Genesis chapter 9, the new world order after the flood, and after God had destroyed the unclean people, or whom God got discouraged with. So here is going to be starting a new one with the blood of a man who is considered to be righteous in his generation. So let's all be like Noah and be worthy of his rewards like him. So here we go today. From this day forward, his generation, his descendants will start flourishing in the world, and we are, let's see in the Bible, we might be we might be the descendant of Noah. So here I'm supposed to be reading Genesis 9, the New World Order. God blessed Noah and his sons, and He said to them, "Be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth. Fear and dread of you will be in all animals on the earth, and in all the birds of the air, upon everything that creeps on the ground, and on all the fish of the sea. They are given to you. Everything that moves and lives shall be food for you. As I give you the green plants, I have now given you everything. Only flesh with its life blood still in it you shall not eat. I will also demand a reckoning for your life blood. I will demand it from every animal, and from man too. I will demand a reckoning for the life of his fellow man. He who sheds the blood of man shall have his blood shed by him. For in the image of God has God made him. As for you, be fruitful and increase. Multiply on the earth and be masters of it." God spoke to Noah and his sons, saying, "I am making a covenant with you and with your descendants after you. Also with every living creatures with you, birds, cattle, and every wild beast of the earth that came out of the ark. I establish my covenant with you. Never again will all life be cut off by the waters of a flood, and never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth. God said, "This is a sign of covenant I made between me and you, and every living creature with you all from all future generations. I set my bow in the clouds, and it will be a sign of covenant between me and the earth. When I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will keep in mind the covenant between me and you and every kind of living creature, so that never again will flood water destroy all flesh. When the rainbow is in the cloud, I will keep it I will see it and keep in mind the everlasting covenant between God and all living creatures of every kind that exists on the earth." God said to Noah, "This is a sign of covenant I have made between me and all that has life on the earth. Noah and his sons, the sons of Noah who came out of the ark, were Sam, Ham, and Japheth. Ham is the ancestor of Canaan. These were Noah's 3 sons, and from them the whole earth was peopled. Noah, farmer, was the first to plant a vineyard. He drank some of the wine, became drunk, and lay uncovered inside his tent. When Ham, Canaan's ancestor, saw his father's nakedness, he told his 2 brothers outside the tent. But Sam and Japheth took a cloak, put it on their shoulders, then walked backwards and covered their father's nakedness. Their faces were turned away, and they did not see their father's nakedness. When Noah awoke from his drunkenness, he realized what his youngest son had done to him, and he said, "Cursed be Canaan, he shall be his brother's meanest slave." He then added, "Blessed be the Lord, the God of Sam. Let Canaan be his slave. May God extend the territory of Japheth, and may he live in the tent of Sam, and may Canaan be his slave." Noah lived 350 years after the flood. In all, Noah lived for 950 years. Then he died. The list of nations. These are the descendants of Noah's son, Sam, Ham, and Japheth. These are their children who were born after the flood. Japheth's sons, Gomer, Magog, the Medes, Javan, Tubal, Masich, Tiras, Gomer's son, Oxkenaz, Riptah, Riphath, Togarmah, Togarmah, Javan's son, Javan, Javan, Javan's son, Elisa, Tarsis, the Kittim, the Danites, Danites. Their descendants settled along the coast and on the islands. These were Japheth's sons according to their countries and languages, according to their tribes and nations. Ham's son, Cush, Mizraim, Put, Canaan, Cush, son, Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Ramah, Sabdika, Rama's son Seba, Dedan. Cush became the father of Nimrod, who was the first great leader or ruler on earth. He was a mighty hunter in the eyes of the Lord. Hence the saying, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter in the eyes of the Lord. The beginning of his empire was BABEL, with Iraj and Akkad, all of them in the land of Shinar. From this country came Assur, the builder of Nineveh, Rehoboth, Ir, Kala, and Rezin, between Nineveh and Kala. This is a great city. Mizraim became the father of the people of Lud, of Anan, Lehav, Namto, it's Naphthuh, Patrios, Caslos, and Captor, from where the Palestine came. Canaan became the father of Sidon, his firstborn, then had, and the Jebusites, the Amorites, Girgasites, Havites, Archites, Sinites, Aravidites, Zamarites, Hamatites. Later the Canaanite tribes were scattered. The Canaanites' frontier stretched from Sidon in the direction of Gerar as far as Gaza in the direction of Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah and Zebulun, and as far as Lisa. These were Ham's sons according to their tribes, and languages according to the countries and nations. There were also children born of Sam, who was the ancestor of all the sons of Eber, and the elder brother of Japheth. Sam's son Elam, Assur, Arpachshad, Lud, Aram, Aram's son Uj, Kul, Githar, Maz. Arpachshad became the father of Sila, and Sila became the father of Eber. To Eber was born two sons. The first was Peleg, because it was in his time that the earth was divided, and his brother was called Joktan. Joktan became the father of Almodad, Selab, Hazarmavet, Zerah, Hadoram, Uzal, Zikla, Obel, Abimael, Seba, Ophir, Gavila, Jobab. All these are sons of Joktan. They occupied a stretch of country from Mesa in the direction of Sibar to the eastern mountain range. These were Sam's sons according to their tribes and languages, and according to their country and nations. These were the tribes of Noah's son according to the descendants and their nations. From this came the dispersal of the nations over the earth after the flood. The Tower of Babel. The whole world had one language and common vocabulary. As people moved eastward, they found a plain in the country of Shinar, where they settled. They say to one another, "Come, let us make bricks and bake them in fire." They use bricks for stone and bitumen for mortar. They also say, "Come, let us build ourselves a city, and a tower with its top reaching heaven, so that we may become famous and not be scattered over the face of the earth." The Lord came down to see the city and the tower of those people were building. And Lord said, "They are one people, and they have one language. This is only the beginning of what they will do. If they carry this through, nothing they decide to do from now on will be impossible. Come, let us go down and confuse their language so that they will no longer understand each other." So the Lord scattered them over all the earth, and they stopped building the city. This is why it is called BABEL, because there the Lord confused the language of the whole earth, and from there the Lord scattered them over the whole face of the earth. The descendants of Sam. These are Sam's descendants. When Sam was 100 years old, he became the father of Arpachshad 2 years after the flood. After the birth of Arpachshad, Sam lived 500 years, and he had more sons and daughters. When Arpachshad was 35 years old, he became the father of Selah. After the birth of Selah, Arpachshad lived 403 years, and he had more sons and daughters. When Selah was 30 years old, he became the father of Eber. After the birth of Eber, Selah lived 403 years, and he had more sons and daughters. When Seba was 34 years old, he became the father of Peleg. After the birth of Peleg, Eber lived 430 years, and he had more sons and daughters. When Peleg was 30 years old, he became the father of Reu. After the birth of Reu, Peleg lived 209 years, and he had more sons and daughters. When Reu was 32 years old, he became the father of Serug. After the birth of Serug, Reu lived 207 years, and he had more sons and daughters. When Serug was 30 years old, he became the father of Nahor. After the birth of Nahor, Serug lived 200 and he had more sons and daughters. When Nahor was 29 years old, he became the father of Terah. After the birth of Terah, Nahor lived 119 years, and he had more sons and daughters. When Terah was 70 years old, he became the father of Abram, Nahor, and Haran, the descendants of Terah. These are the descendants of Terah. Terah became the father of Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Haran became the father of Lot. Haran died before his father Terah in his native land, Ur of the Chaldeans. Abram and Nahor both married. Abram's wife was called Sarai. Nahor's wife was called Milcah, daughter of Iran, father of Milcah and Iscah. Sarai was barren. She had no child. Terah took his son Abram, his grandson Lot, son of Iran, and his daughter-in-law Sarai, the wife of Abram, and made them leave Ur of the Chaldeans to go to the land of Canaan. But on arrival in Haran, they lived there. Terah lived 205 years, then he died in Haran. I think this will be all for today. So, looking back on the human history, I think we can, they have given the name, the firstborn child's name only, and the rest of the children are not mentioned, because it is according to the firstborn that the family's name have been taken till that maybe. So here God created a covenant for man after he had destroyed. In the beginning, God had given all the rights to everything, and man overused their own rights, and that's how God, the world became corrupted. God was angry and he destroyed. He wanted to destroy, but he saw one man. He wanted to destroy the whole world, but there was only one man. There was one man who was righteous among his generation, and that's Noah. And Noah got a blessing from God, and then he was the only one who was safe in the flood, and the rest of them all perished. And then and that's how Noah's generation started, and God gave him a new covenant. So in that covenant, he also say that he is not going to be destroying the world or wiping off the human race with flood. And the covenant was with a sign that he kept it, that every time the rainbow appears in the cloud, it will be a sign that God had a covenant, and God will see to that, and then he will not destroy the earth. He will remember his covenant, and then he will reconsider whatever he thinks about the earth. So here, let us all pray, and that God remembers this covenant and not destroy us with this disease and stuff, things that are bad, a lot of worse things that are happening, and it is not getting better. So let us all pray to God for his mercy and forgiveness, and like the covenant that he had made with Noah, let him remember the covenant. Let us pray to him that he remembers his mercy and his promise that he had kept with man, that he's not going to be destroying again the human race. So this is all I wanted to say. The rest are the descendants of Noah, and how it spreaded all over the nation. And then there was one scripture that is of the BABEL, the Tower of BABEL. Men are quite ambitious. They are over ambitious, and they try to do it. They try to do the thing that I don't know, which is like man always try to think he is superior at times when he can do things. So that's how they wanted to build a very huge city of their own where they can stay and they can be united and something like that. But God saw that this was not a good idea, because he is the creator, and he have seen the past of how human race have behaved, and then he did not want the righteous man's generation to fall in that category. whom he had destroyed back then with the flood. So he separated, he he's not being rude, but he's trying to help us. He destroyed what they have built, and then he confused them with a different language, and that's how it became a beautiful one. Nowadays we have a lot of languages which we might not understand each other. Even in our own community we have more than 100 languages. Every village is having their own languages, and it's a beautiful thing, right? What if human race, or what if our community has just one language? It will be so bored, and things might be a little different than we are now. So I think this is all done for the betterment, and God knows what is best for us. And even now in this situation, we must believe whatever happened, it is all for the good of us. So let us not be discouraged with whatever is happening on earth right now. But then let us all be grateful for whatever he had done for us, and he's doing it all for the, let's hope, let's see it in a positive way, that he is doing it all for the betterment of us only. So let's wait for him patiently, and he will do what is best for us, because he always loves us. He is the one who created us, and there is no one to turn to, and he knows that he is supposed to be the one who is going to save us. So let us all keep all our hopes and trust in him, and he will do what is best for us. In the meantime, we must continue to pray for ourselves and for everyone around us. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.